3 essential lessons that I learned growing up in a psychic, spiritual family. If you're somebody who grew up in what we called a 5-sensory family, where maybe you didn't talk about spirit guides or your vibes or anything, and were curious about what it was like to grow up in a psychic family, what are some of the things that you learn? Well, hi, I'm Sonia. I'm a 4th generation intuitive, and I'm here to plug you back into your innate divine self, your intuition. So if you're new here, don't forget to hit subscribe, hit like, hit that little bell notification. I release new videos every week. And if you're returning, welcome back. Anything that I mention, don't worry, will be in the description box below, so you do not need any notes. You can just enjoy. So today I want to talk to you about what it was like to grow up in a psychic family, a psychic spiritual family, and some of the different life lessons I learned and some of the things that you can apply to your own life. So principle number 1, trust your vibes always and in all ways. In my family, your vibes were as important as the information that we gather from the world around us. It can be so easy in our world where we so value the intellect and information as the principal way of navigating the world that we often haven't been given mirrors or support in really trusting our vibes. But in my world, your vibes were your essential compass. You talked about your guides, you connected to your vibes. That was our lifeblood. And even as a little kid, I remember when I was super little, and this is something that I feel so grateful for, is anytime that my sister and I ever had a bad vibe, my mom would tell us that we could go to her at any time and just squeeze her hand 2 times. And that was code for like, get me out of here. I never had to explain. I never had to explain myself. I never had to even use that as anything other than I have a vibe. It is important. It is valued and honored and something that was acted upon. And you know, what I find so often in teaching, mentoring clients and all of it is that you are psychically connected, divinely guided. Your vibes work just perfectly. It's not a matter of needing to become better or even develop your intuitive sense. It first starts with honoring your intuitive sense. You have a vibe, you don't need to explain it. Just trust it. And that alone will start to build your confidence in yourself, in your vibes, in your intuition, and really start to pay attention to the language of not only your own subconscious, but of your spirit. Speaking of which, if you're somebody who wants to develop your intuitive skills, your psychic skills, I'm hosting a workshop this Sunday, March 20th from 11 to 1 p.m. Check out some notes in the description box. I'll give you the link to sign up. You'll Zoom, whole 9 yards. I absolutely love it because these are some of the wonderful tools that I learned in my own life. Second tool that I learned that was essential. There's always a solution. Now, what I love about this, and I forget, is that anytime you come up against any issue or problem, any roadblock, there is a solution. You know, what I find, and so often in my clients and in the world, is we can encounter these different roadblocks and then we get stuck. We feel like there's no options, that we're trapped in, whether it's jobs, relationships, whether anything. You know, it could even choosing a restaurant. But instead, when we start to reframe and open up to this place of having solutions, something interesting happens. We start to get curious. And curiosity is one of the bedrocks and the foundation of developing our psychic skills, of developing our intuitive skills, because when you're curious, you're in a listening state. So being told that there's always a solution, and it might not be one that I've thought of, or might not even be one that I want in the moment, that it always opened me up to this place of being able to search. And so even in my house growing up, anytime that there was a problem, we would play this game of there's 10,000 solutions. So if I had a problem at school. Like for example, one time I had a principal that I did not like and I did not know necessarily what to do with it. My mom would say, okay, well, let's come up with 20 solutions to this problem. And we would bounce them off around like a ball. So I'd be like, well, one solution is I don't talk to him. One solution is that I, protest. One solution is, I don't remember what they were off the top of my head, but that same energy of when you keep coming up with different solutions, two interesting things happen. One is at first, your head might talk. It might come up with the different solutions that feel obvious. Well, I don't like my job, so what do? Maybe the solution is you quit your job. That might be the place of your intellect. But if you use that same principle, bouncing it like a ball, coming up with different solutions, something will drop in. And that is the voice of your spirit and intuition that will surprise you. And all of a sudden, not only will you come up with a solution, but you're connected to your creativity, to yourself, and to your place of power. When we get disconnected from our intuitive sense, we get so linear, we oftentimes decide that what we know is all there is to know. And that's not true. Always a solution. Principle number 3, I could go on forever. That I would always say is my mom would say that appearance is the least reliable thing. And my Nana would say this too. My Nana was deaf and hard of hearing. She grew up in Romania and actually lost her hearing and was in the Holocaust. And so she used her intuitive sense as a way to navigate the world. And she lost her hearing as a little kid. And because of that, she would say, don't listen to what people say. Listen to the vibration and how it feels. And in our world right now where we get so caught up in social media and Instagram and all these things of how things appear on the surface, and if we get caught up in believing that that is what's true, you get cut off from what's essential. You get caught off from going on what's below the surface, not only to your own intuition, but to a place of your own vibration. And when we can start to pivot that and recognize that appearance is not only not reliable, but that is a facade, and that we can dive deeper by trusting our intuitive sense, by asking ourselves questions like, does this resonate as true? Does this resonate? Is that true? Does that feel true? That's when we can start to open up not only to our other senses, but we can connect to solutions, connect back to our spirit, and connect back to our essential self. So those are just some of the lessons that I learned. I learned a lot more. If you liked this video, leave me a comment. I'm happy. Maybe I'll do this as a series and spend some more videos. And like I said, if you like this video, hit subscribe, hit like, share it with a friend. Don't forget to check out my free resources below. I have podcasts that I do with my mom and my sister every week. I have a What's Your Spirit type quiz. I have doing a single card reading poll. I do readings, mentoring. There's all sorts of resources for you. So I'm sending you all my love, and I hope to see you next week. Bye.